Hi guys, it's Keisha. So I took a poll. I asked friends, family, followers what they wanted me to do a video on, and there was an overwhelming amount of requests for this specific topic. And in my private practice, it's what I treat the most. It is, drum roll please, anxiety. So it's really important that we talk about this. It's very important that people know the difference between anxiety and anxiety disorder, and that's what I'm going to talk about today. According to the National Institute of Mental Health, anxiety disorder is the #1 mental health challenge that Americans are facing right now. 40 million Americans have anxiety disorders. And the thing is that anxiety is totally treatable. Yes! But only 36% of people with anxiety disorders treat their anxiety, which is a shame because you can really live a totally functioning life if you treat your anxiety. But if you don't, it is paralyzing. I mean, there are people who really can't do things because they're disordered. And I want you to know that you need to treat it and that it is treatable so you can have a full life. Yes! Okay, so let's talk about the difference between anxiety and an anxiety disorder, because those are two different things. Everybody experiences a little bit of anxiety once in a while, before you public speak, or before a big test, or before a job interview, or before a date. You just feel a little bit nervous because you don't know what's going to happen. That is normal for the human nervous system. An anxiety disorder means that that nervousness and that unease and that stress takes over your mind and your heart and your body, and sometimes it paralyzes you to the point where you just can't get things done. So let's talk about the symptoms of anxiety disorder. Constantly thinking about the what ifs, and it controls your life. You cannot control it. It makes you irrational, irritable. It stops you from sleeping because at night, either falling asleep, you're stressed out about all the worst case scenarios, or you wake up and then you're anxious about all the worst case scenarios. Problems with decision making. Sometimes the mental kind of anguish lands in your body physically. There's shortness of breath, shaking, tingling in your head, there's strange heartbeat. A person then becomes anxious about what happens to their body. It really is a very good example of how body, mind, and spirit are all connected. Sometimes anxiety even causes heart palpitations and people feel like they're gonna have a heart attack, or they lose consciousness and they faint. So it's really scary. And then oftentimes, once that happens, people are anxious about being anxious because they're afraid that that's going to happen to them, which will stop you from going to public places. It will stop you from wanting to leave home. It will stop you from driving. And so I see this over and over again, that it really becomes debilitating. And I always hear people, families and friends of people with anxiety, they tell the people with anxiety, just get over it. It's fine. You can do it. It's no big deal. Pull up your bootstraps, work through it like I did. And you know what? That's really annoying to say to someone who's really having a hard time. Maybe you could push yourself through anxiety, but you don't know. Everyone's nervous system is different. Everyone has different kinds of anxiety. And if this person is disordered, it is considered disordered because they can't just push through it. They need help. And it doesn't feel good to not be able to do things. And so it doesn't feel good when someone says, hey, you can do it, just push through it. Because if they could, they would. And they can't. So be nice. Today, I'm going to give you a few of the healing tools for anxiety. I see all the time people who have anxiety, they drink alcohol and or smoke marijuana in order to alleviate their anxiety. And it may, in like the short term, help you, but in the long term, it is terrible for anxiety. It is like sticking a fork in the electrical system of your brain. Instead of drinking and instead of smoking weed, you could take CBD oil. It has no THC, so it does not make you high, but it has all the beautiful healing properties of the plant. So it alleviates stress, but without making it worse. So in the short term, it alleviates stress, and in the long term, it alleviates stress. Alcohol and weed are no bueno for anxiety. You know what's great for anxiety? Exercise. When you have anxiety in your body, it feels like this excessive kind of buzzing energy in your body, and when you exercise, it is a great way to expel it. Many people report after exercising that they feel way calmer, including me. You need relief? Go have a walk, because you drop this stuff called GABA, which is anti-anxiety. And you also drop this stuff called serotonin, which is a well-being, kind of happy, but also peaceful hormone. So you feel better. Vitamins you can take to help diminish your anxiety: magnesium, zinc, L-theanine. These are wondrous anti-anxiety vitamins, and you don't even have to take the vitamins, you can just eat them in food. For example, magnesium you can find in leafy greens, and you can find them in legumes. Also, caffeine is really bad for an anxious brain because it makes people more nervous. It makes your heart go. It makes you more uneasy. So if you have anxiety and you drink coffee, it can make your anxiety like 100 times worse. I mean, I've seen it. There's no reason for you to be making yourself more nervous by drinking caffeine when you're already having anxiety. It doesn't make any sense. So nix the caffeine. And then there's sugar. Okay, sugar is really bad for an anxious brain because sugar makes you go up and then down. And when you go down, your blood sugar goes down. And when your blood sugar goes down, it sort of mimics anxiety. It makes your brain chemistry worse, not better. And you want to be eating things that make you feel better. You want to be eating things that keep your blood sugar regulated so that you feel good, not bad. Extra pointer. Studies show that chamomile tea reduces anxiety, and that's why they tell you to take it when you go to sleep, because it calms you down so you can have a good night's sleep. I think you can even take chamomile in vitamin form, but like, why would you do that? Have a nice cup of tea. Enjoy, it's luxurious. If you feel like you have the kind of anxiety disorder that is really stopping you from living your life, paralyzing you, and you're in fear all the time, please seek professional help. This is treatable. You do not have to live this way. You can be helped. Next week's video is going to be all about one of my favorite tools for reducing anxiety, something that I've been using for 20 years. We didn't talk about it today, but I am so excited to share it with you next week. Thank you guys for watching. And remember, you can heal. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you next week.